have shared memories that were created with their dad. And some others have shared memories that they have shared with their families and best friends. But some memories sometimes maybe should stay there, not evoked. My name is Sobhi. I'm from Palestine, the land of many holy shared memories. As a child, I was very curious, like many children. Curious about everything really. Biology, physics, you name it. But there's one topic that really took my heart: history. Actually, one of my dreams was, and still, a time machine. A time machine not to change something, not to predict the future, but to observe. To talk with those characters we read about in books. To taste food that was cooked thousands of years ago. Maybe to smell some flowers or plants that were there millions of years ago. Unfortunately, I didn't have access to a time machine, but the closest thing I got was my grandparents. And it helped a lot that they lived next to us. So the time travel, or traveling time, was very short and easy. Once or twice a month, there was a unique night. And that unique night would be the night that I will go to my grandparents, knowing that I will stay the night there. Sometimes one of my siblings would come, sometimes some of my cousins would join. And we all will get ready for the story. We will get ready by being under the blanket. At the beginning, just whispering and having a bit of laugh, while my grandmother started telling the story. And the more she starts telling, the more the air becomes thick in the room. And the more we see that there is danger happening in that story. The more our grip is on the blanket is tightening more and more, and our hearts going faster and faster and faster till boom! And then my grandmother smiles, and with a bit of a joke and a bit of a laugh, all that tension vanishes. Everything goes very relaxed, and we just fall asleep. On the other hand, I had also my grandfather, who was a storyteller as well. But unlike my grandmother, who was telling to few kids at night, and she was hearing those stories that she was telling us from her mom, who heard it from her mom, who heard it from her mom, and from her mom. She never actually knew how to read and write. The only way to communicate the stories was by hearing them and telling them. And you would feel those stories the more you tell them and the more you hear them. My grandfather, on the other hand, was not telling stories only to me and my siblings and my cousins and my grandmother. He was telling stories to the whole village. He actually would go to the highest point in the village and tell his stories once a week. When we got electricity in the village, he even got speakers that every single person in the village will hear those stories. He was an imam, and his stories were written by his father, from his father, from his father, all documented, all from a man to a man to a man. All those stories and wisdoms were shared every Friday, or occasionally when a couple will get married, and he will be talking about love in halal terms, of course. Until one day, my granddad passed away. 1 week after he passed away, I went to check his closet. It was filled with books and notebooks. Everything is documented. And only then it occurred to me that by that time that my grandmother will pass away, everything will pass away with her. And I thought, well, I will do something about that. I would like to document my grandmother's stories. So I got my video camera and I put it there. I'm like, Grandma, tell your stories. No. I'm like, please. No. Who cares about stories? For me. And she refused. She didn't like that. Eventually, I kind of convinced her, tricked her but she wasn't really wanna tell those stories because those stories were to be told to children at night. At that age, I was also growing and being more aware politically. As I said, I come from Palestine, one of the most, let's say, with a baggage. And although we had a lot of things happening, all those things that took place were never talked about. They're taboo. And I wanted those stories from my grandmother. I was like, okay, don't tell me before the good stories. Tell me what happened in 1948. Like, what do you mean what happened? The Jews came, they got their state, some of us went out. That's it. No, yeah, but what happened with you? Nothing. But Grandma, really, what happened? And she would not answer. And I would try again and again. And sometimes when I push a little bit, she's like, well, I have a story for you. It's the story when I grabbed the sugar from the jar and my mom called me. Wanna hear that? And I would just say, yes, of course. And I would forget about 48. But one day I was very determined. That day I was like, this day Grandma will tell. I will not leave her house until she tells that story. That, of course, I told to myself, to her. I took the camera and I put it, Grandma, tell me what happened. No. Please. No, I want, you want me to go to jail? No. Like, no one will jail. You know what? The camera is off. Tell me what happened. No, I'm telling you. Let me tell you the story. No, Grandma. What happened? Tell me what happened. It's my right to know what happened. Tell me what happened. Grandma, just say it. Say and tell what happened. Stop. What do you want me to tell you about? About how we went running into the mountains? About how we lived like stray dogs for weeks? About how I buried men with those hands when they got executed in front of us? What do you want me to tell you? For the first time, I experienced two things with my grandmother for the first time. That shouting, that face full of tears, full of sadness, full of anger, but the anger of the fire that just got vanished. The other thing I experienced for the first time ever with my grandmother was silence. We experienced silence together for the first time. And that day, I was just frozen to that sofa. Didn't know if I actually did the right thing by evoking a memory that she didn't want to share. And to this day, I don't have the answer to that question. Was it my right to know, or was it her right to keep her story to herself? Thank you.